Welcome to the channel, Gaming Army. In the 2 drops coming your way today, we hit the battlefield in the Enforcer. It's the Enforcer hero mech, also known as the Ghillie. Now, straight out of the gate, we're in a domination match on Caustic Valley. I've shot off to the far left-hand side. I want the high ground where I'm at Delta 3, and hopefully you can see why. Yes, it is a target-rich environment, and I've got a great bird's eye view down into the valley where a lot of enemy targets have congregated. Now, one of the quick things that you will notice on this mech as I'm shooting here is I'm not using advanced zoom, and I've gotten asked about that quite a bit, and I've also answered it quite a bit in other videos. But basically, guys, it comes down to this: if you're using the advanced zoom, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it's the same principle as staring down a scope. For any of you long-range shooters who have ever done that, it's great in magnifying what you're shooting at, but staring down the scope too long, you lose a lot of your battlefield awareness, a lot of your situational awareness, and I don't feel like I want to give that up and stay focused on such a narrow field of view. It's a great way for somebody to flank you or sneak up on you or do some other shenanigans. So that's why I'm not using it, and it's okay if you use it. That's fine. The other issue why I don't use it is because when you're zoomed in like that, any little movements that you do with your mouse or anything else translates into a lot of screen shake as you're trying to be precise with your shots looking down that magnified view. So those are my reasons. That's why I do it. But right now, I don't need it. In fact, the enemy has managed to push me. They had some shots on me earlier, and they must have called it in. And now this Shadow Cat is pushing my position up here on the hill. And that machine gun package is a bit worrisome. He is going to chew through me pretty quickly if I can't do some maneuvers here and take out that left torso. If I can get that machine gun array out, that negates a lot of his power. He's already opened up my back, and that was my weakest armor point anyway. But there we go. I feel a whole lot better. Now most of his weapons are down. I don't have to worry about that DPS of that machine gun array chewing through me. He's open center torso. Just probably one more shot. Okay, maybe 2 more shots. We can probably drop him. I just can't get enough focus damage. There we go. Okay, 1 Shadow Cat off the board, and we can go on to bigger and better shenanigans, that's for sure, now that we can focus our attention on the battlefield. I'm going to reposition real quickly just because that round and round with the Shadow Cat, he probably had me locked up for his teammates, and I don't want them getting any crazy ideas like, I don't know, shooting me again. So that's fine. The rest of the units appear to be engaged with my teammates. We've jumped out to a 2-kill lead. Score is 6-4. There is a wounded Marauder down there. I wonder if I can sweep. Yes, that leg. That'll add to his misery and problems. I duck back here for a second just in case something was looking up this way. Put the arty strike on him since he's moving so slow, and continue to rain some misery on his poor wounded mech. I see a second unit down there moving through the smoke. It looks like might even be a second Shadow Cat. Not 100% sure on that, but I'm trying to stick on the Marauder there and ruin his day. His mech was heavily damaged, but I have a problem myself, and that is the fact that I have 1 Gauss round left, and I'm going to probably get that out here in a second. So that means I better start moving down, because eventually I'm going to have nothing left but my medium lasers, and I want to be in position to bring those to bear and help out my team. And that is a very, very important consideration if you're going to run this mech. It's only a 50-tonner, so that means that your Gauss ammunition is going to be very, very limited. You will have backup weapons. What those will look like, well, that's up to you. I've tried various configurations. 3 medium lasers kind of gets it done late game for me, but use whatever you feel comfortable with. But just keep in mind, you're going to have to push in at some point. Hopefully it's late game, and there's a lot of damaged units on the board for you to pick and choose from. Now in this situation, it's already 11-5, so we're just mopping things up at this point, looking for the last enemy mech, and it appears to be some kind of stealth or ECM unit because everybody is fanning out searching for him, and at least we can join in the search. I was afraid everybody was over at Charlie 5 and I would never make it there in time, but I can easily join in the hunt and destroy. Oh, and speaking of it, there it is. Oh, it's a flea, and he's being pursued by at least 2, 3, 4. He's getting gang tackled, so I'm sure. Yep, there we go. They've taken him out of the game. That'll bring this drop to a close. And switching over to our end screen on this one, we wound up with 1 kill, 9 assists, 565 damage done. Moving on to our next drop. This one has us playing skirmish mode on Forest Colony Winter Classic, and I'm going to head around here to Charlie 4-ish. I like the high ground in front of me. I also like the fact that there is some tree cover there as well. So I get elevation, some additional, I wouldn't say protection, but low visibility because I'll blend into these trees fairly well. And sure enough, there are some enemy targets. There's a couple down there in the water. There's some more back towards Charlie 3. And I'm going to start going to work on those units as best as possible. I've got to be careful with my shot selection because I'm missing a couple of shots here and there, and this is one of those mechs that you don't have a lot of extra spare ammunition. This is not like a Nightjeer or a Thanatos where you can cram in even more ammunition. You also have greater firepower because you're typically running dual Gauss at that point. Now, here is the bad news. I just got hit with a PPC blast, and that reset my ECM, and so now the jig is up somewhat, at least temporarily. And that leads into the second question that I get asked a lot. Many of you are asking why I don't use stealth armor more often. And that's because stealth armor has its time and place. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm also not saying it's a good thing either. And the reason I'm not using it on this particular mech is because I am a long-range sniper / shooter. I don't want stealth armor interfering with my sensor package. I want a full sensor suite so that I can detect and lock on to enemy targets to be able to shoot them more effectively. With stealth armor in active mode, it dampens all of your sensors and you won't be able to get long-range information. And look at that, here we go. We've got something pushing out of the tunnel. That's not good. I didn't realize they were coming through here, and it's a Battle Master no less. So let's see if we can get some damage on him. And he was a little confused as to where I was, and I couldn't make the jump to get up above him. In fact, I fell down, which is not good, but that's okay. His left torso is open, his center torso is open. I'm gonna get back up here out of direct line of fire just in time because an Atlas pushed through with him. So I've got a teammate focusing the Atlas. I'm adding fire support. Thank goodness he's really not looking to his right because, I mean, I'm standing here in the great wide opens and he could absolutely just light me up. The good news is we're able to take him out really quickly. I get to focus on the Battle Master, and that chalks up the first kill in this drop. Holy cow, did not expect them to be coming out of the tunnel like that, and the fact he was with the DDC, that explains why. So the Atlas was giving ECM coverage to the Battle Master. That allowed them to push out. My sensors weren't facing the right way anyway, but that's kind of how they got the drop. That could have gone a lot worse. I'm actually very happy to escape that encounter with only an open CT, although now for the rest of the drop I've got to be very careful on what I do. So going back to I think I've tied up the whole stealth armor thing. I just don't use it in this configuration on this mech and several others because if I'm going to do long-range sniping, I want a full package on my sensors so that I can easily see and detect enemy targets at range instead of not being able to get a lock on anything until they're pretty much on top of me. So hopefully that answers the question. And now we've got a Highlander up here by the radio tower. Ooh, get a good Gauss shot right through that open center torso. That's kill number 2. And now we can go to work on this Marauder, adding some support to our Atlas. Look at this. The height gives me just the right vantage point to shoot the Marauder over top of the Atlas's head, and the Marauder is now open right torso. We have another unit down below us to the right focusing him as well. We should have this well in hand. Oh yeah, he's open. All his side torsos are open. We'll get some more shots on him. The Atlas is pushing forward, so that means we can join him. We're going to take high cover up here by the radio tower, and look at this is what I'm talking about on the sensors. Now I can find their missile boat, and you guys know how much I just love missile boats. Got to put them under pressure, guys. Make them relocate, lose their locks, keep them on their back foot, so to speak. And if you can do that, that means they're not going to be as effective getting any kind of missiles out. There's a couple more enemy units down there in the low ground. We're getting some good shots on them as well. But look at my Gauss bin. I'm already down to below 10 shots. Actually, I'm down to 7 shots now. And at some point, I'm going to burn through the rest of that ammunition pretty quickly. And that's where I'm going to have to move in, relying on my medium lasers to get any more work done on the enemy units. Good news is it's 8-3. We are well ahead on the power curve, and there's some damaged units down there that I'm sure we can get the drop on and put our medium lasers to work. 2 rounds of Gauss ammo left. We'll see if we can get those out, see if we can do some more damage, maybe get another kill, because here comes a Wolfhound Grinner, and his back is open, not his front, but he only has 2 large lasers. Oh, he likes me. He's coming. Here he comes. I'm getting some missile support. Down he goes for the last kill of the game. Switching over to the end screen. On this one, we wind up with 2 kills, 8 assists, 582 damage. Done.